Hello and welcome back to the Dukascopy TV studio. Up next to talk solar is Avensol's Ewa Przemieniecki. Ewa, thank you so much for coming in today.
Thank you for having me.
Now we're going to be discussing the intrinsic relationship between subsidies and solar power. Before we concentrate our discussion on Switzerland, can you firstly just talk us through this relationship between government subsidies and the energy industry?
So solar panels are going down in price significantly thanks to the amount of solar panels that have been created in the market so far. As we produce more solar panels, the price will continue to go down. Governments see this and understand the principle, and that's why most governments have been subsidizing solar installations. In the meanwhile, we need to continue to subsidize them until the investment in solar becomes profitable on its own. Today, there's 40% of developed countries that have hit parity, meaning that if I was to install these solar panels, the electricity that I was to sell from the production of electricity during the lifespan of these panels would cover the cost of these panels. But that's not enough for an investor to invest. You still need to have a profit margin on that. And so we have to not only ensure that we hit parity in all country or in the countries where we want solar panels to be interesting, but we also need it to be more profitable. So we are well on our way. We've already gone through the hardest part of getting solar installations to hit parity, and now we need to still baby them a little bit along the way until solar panels become profitable on their own.
So how does this feed into solar development then?
If you are an investor in solar panels, you rely on feed-in tariffs within different countries that are basically an interesting price per kilowatt hour you produce. And this makes it more interesting. If you were today to sell it only at the regular electricity price, you would not be able to gain enough profit from the investment. So that's the way they see it today. And as we proceed and solar panels and installations become cheaper and cheaper, they will be able to continue to lower these feed-in tariffs until we have a market that is healthy on its own.
Switzerland's domestic solar market is now kind of under threat, really, as the Swiss government is considering slashing solar subsidies by 40%. Can you expand on that a little bit for us?
Absolutely. Right now in government, there's some discussions being made about slashing up to 40%, which would be a pretty drastic decision because to develop a market, you need to have stability and security. Investors want to see that things are stable and then that they will receive the subsidies that they have been basically relying on. And if they do slash to 40%, not only will it create a very hectic environment right now as people don't know exactly which way it's going, so maybe they'll make rash decisions. And also in the future, they might have cold feet about where these decisions will be made, and maybe they will shy away from the industry, which would be a shame because right now they've been doing an excellent job in developing this market, and it's been progressing very, very well. And the solar industry in Switzerland has been developing in big installations and small installations. Some of the decisions they're making right now may imply that big installations will be less profitable and investors will shy away, and that's a shame because that's where the big change can happen with bigger installations.
Swiss Solar have described the possible plans as being catastrophic. Now you can understand sort of the Swiss government wanting to pull back slightly, but a cut of this magnitude, how detrimental really in the long term could it end up being, do you think?
As I mentioned just now, if they do make the decisions as they're proposing them right now, most likely big installations will stop until solar panels come down in price and installations come down in price, which is unfortunate because it's not just a question of the product and the cost of the product, it's also a question of developing the market, reducing the costs and getting building permits, reducing the cost by having a very well-developed installation market. So all these components need to be babied in. If they were to stop right now and we stop doing big installations, when solar panels do continue lowering in price and become profitable in the future, you will find that we don't have enough professionals to make the installations, and on top of that we will not have enough well-developed processes to get the building permits, and you will have delays and costs that are unnecessary. So as it stands right now, we are a little bit nervous to see what they will come out with. But some of the ideas that they're having are pretty wholesome, because they say that it's coming down by 40%, but in reality they're trying to encourage people to look at their consumption, which is a big benefit of solar panels, because you want the production to be near their consumption, and it's an innovative way of making big installations not only consider the production that they can have, but also whether or not they're close to a source of consumption.
You touched on already investor response in the future, but what response are we seeing so far already to this proposed discussion? Quite often that can be the big impact, is the anticipation almost. Are investors getting cold feet already, or do you guys still have sort of big enough ideas up your sleeve to keep them interested?
Well, Avensol definitely has some big ideas, and we definitely have some ways about it, but it is... we are losing a little bit of momentum and a little bit of structure. We were really keen on doing big installations, and right now, because of these decisions, which with Swiss style might take some time to happen in Parliament, will make us concentrate on other maybe less profitable solutions in the meanwhile, which don't have the big positive impact that our initial ideas had. But we also need to ensure the security of for our investors, and make sure that they get the money that they're hoping to get from the installations.
Ewa, thank you so much for coming in today and sharing this discussion with us.
Thank you.
That's all we've got time for right now, but for all of your FX news, analysis and interviews, stay tuned to Dukascopy TV. Goodbye for now.